Should you sell your dream car to invest in real estate? Guys, welcome back to another video. It's your boy, Yandori. Shout out to That Car Life. He goes, love this series. Watch the whole thing. Devs would love a video with some advice on investment properties too. You're killing it, bro. Making me want to upload more. Thank you, my G. Appreciate this, appreciate that. Checked out your channel too, man. I've been seeing you popping out videos, bro. So let's unpack this. If you guys haven't watched that past video of me, I'm going through my 30-something car history. Then be sure to check that one out. Should you sell your dream car in order to get a stake in real estate? The short answer is yes, you should, given the return. Now let's go through it a bit. Like, a lot of people are going to say, oh mate, you can't drive a house, but with the house you don't have to pay rego. A house can't get stolen. The contents can be stolen, but you know, insurance covers that. And it depends what you purchase the house for as well. Obviously, I'm not trying to say one is better or the other. Like, if you want to drive your car, go ahead, go for it. If you want to get into real estate, good, great, go for it. But let me just unpack this and tell you about the decision making that I went through selling the dream car that I always wanted to keep and get into real estate. Person A purchases a GDR $50,000. 50 grand R32 GDR for the sake of the example. Person B also has an R32 GDR, however, they decide to sell it. So person A, person B, both have a 32 GDR, 50 grand, and person A keeps it, person B decides to sell in order to purchase an investment property. He uses that 50K as a down payment to purchase a property that's worth 250K, as an example, which means his loan value is now 200K, okay? Person A, GDR, 50K, now we're gonna, and person B, 50K uses to buy a property, okay? Now, let's fast track 5 years ahead. Person A has, that 32 GDR is now worth 100 grand. He's doubled his money, okay? And with the money doubled, he has to now consider the different expenses that he's going to take into consideration. So 5 years rego, 5 grand. 5 years of insurance, let's be conservative, 5 grand. Mods, 5 grand. Petrol, 5 grand. So that's about 20K. Now these costs are very conservative. You and I will well and truly know maintaining a GDR is going to cost a lot more. But for the sake of the example, let's say this is the cost. Total cost, 20 grand. With that 50K profit that he's made, 20,000 goes down the drain due to expenses. And person A is now left with $30,000. Not bad. I mean, given that you started off 50, invested that, and now it's gone up, but you had to spend a bit of expenses. That's fine. That's perfectly normal. That's the whole notion of investing. You make money, you spend money, and then you profit in the end of it. Now let's go back to person B and see what he's been up to. His $250,000 property with the 50K down payment is now worth, conservatively, increased by 5% year on year. So in 5 years time, this property is now worth $320,000. So that's, if he was to sell that, he would profit 250K versus 320. The house has gone up by $70,000. Let's say that the property that he purchases is a positively cash flowing property, meaning that the mortgage repayment is less than the rental income that comes through, meaning that every month that goes on, he is profiting by having a mortgage on this property. So with the excess cash that he gets, or she, he would invest that into all the different expenses, and that, let's, for the sake of the argument, let's say it evens out. Now, if you were to use this investment property as a tool, a financial tool, you can then take out the equity that you make from it. Now, you got to keep a minimum of 20% within the property. So if it's now worth 320K, we take 80% of 320K, which is $256,000, minus the outstanding loan amount, which was 200K initially. Now let's say it's 190,000. 256 minus 190 is now $66,000 in equity. Person B can now use this $66,000 in equity and purchase another property, whether that be a property that he lives in, whether it be another investment property. It's completely up to him. Or he can even use that equity and get another loan and use that as a security to purchase a GDR again, and then he'll have both. Now look, this is one of many methods of real estate investing. This is called positive cash flow investing. It's actually called positive gearing. So this setup is cash flow positive. You can't just go out and just purchase a property and then have this magically work out for you. Obviously you have to have the correct infrastructure, the correct plan in place to make this all happen. You can't just go buy old mate's house down the road and expect it to yield this type of return. But again, in both examples, we've been very conservative. So if you compare the gain, person A versus person B has now made $66,000 in equity that he can use without having to sell the property, of course. If he was to sell the property, different story. He would have 320K cash minus the loan outstanding, which is 190,000. Ends up being $130,000 cash minus his initial $50,000 investment, which means his total cash profit will be $80,000 cash. Now, that's $80,000 cash if he sold the property. If he kept the property and used it as an investment tool, he can utilize $66,000 of that equity to do whatever the hell he wants. Buy another property, another investment, buy a car, do whatever. So, $80,000 cash if he sold it, and 66K in equity. Okay, two options essentially with the property. Now let's compare that to person A, who's got his GDR, he's dosing RB26, he's loving life. However, if he was to sell the GDR, he would only experience $30,000 of profit. 30,000 with the car versus 66,000 equity in the property, or 80,000 cash. Do you guys see the difference? Like, don't get me wrong, driving a GDR is going to give you way more. And GDR is just an example. Yeah. It's going to give you way more satisfaction, happiness than having an investment property. But having that financial freedom in the future, it's going to be able to help you snowball, huge snowball effects into the future. So that's one element. I guess some people want to be interested in like the saving strategy. Track your expenses. Money comes in, money goes out. You need to know how much you're making and how much you're spending. If you don't have any sights or tabs on what you're doing there, you've got a problem because you don't know where things are going, right? Like, you're going for a drive, you're going down to Melbourne, for example. If you don't know which way you're going, you're not going to get there. You're going to end up in a different location. If you're not using a GPS, you're probably going to end up lost. So having a plan and strategy is very important. And it's something my parents have taught me as well. And that's how they did this in the past. Like, you know, to set up for their house and upgrading houses. They used to get a paper, so shout out to mum and dad, get a paper and write down money in and expenses, and they used to track all the money that they were spending. I'm not telling you to get out a notebook and start writing out all your expenses. It's fucking 2021, bro. Open up an Excel spreadsheet. If you don't have Microsoft Office, go on Google, open up a Google spreadsheet and just write down your expenses. You can have static expenses and dynamic expenses. Static meaning like static suspension, right? Like it doesn't move, it's the same. So every month you're gonna have expenses that you have to spend. Whether you pay a bit of board at home, groceries, your petrol, insurances that you may pay, gym membership, these are all expenses that you know, mobile phone bill, that you know are gonna be hitting your account every single month. Static expenses. Then you got your dynamic expenses. You might want to spend money on some food, like not food, I should say. Like you might want to go out and eat food. You might want to go out with the boys or go out with the girls and spend some money on clothes. You're not going to always be spending that money every single month on that expense, for example. Like you're not going to go to Japan every single month, like a holiday or something. But as an example. So if you just look at these two static, you put your static and dynamic expenses and see which ones can you cut out, which ones can you live without. And obviously static ones you can cut off, and then you'll experience that over a year or month. So if you've got a $40 per month gym membership, over the span of 10 months, that's going to be $400. That's how I calculate it in my head. I go 40 for the month equals times that by 10, which is 400 for the year, plus 2 more months, which is like 80. So what's that? $480 per year on gym membership. If you can train at your local park, you can save that $500. But if you think that you need that, then keep it. I'm not saying cut everything expense out of your life. Just review it and see if it's serving you or not. Netflix memberships, all those different little things, bits and bobs. So Another really good one is if you're a part-time or casual worker, consider your purchases as hours of your time. So if you get paid, as an example, $20 per hour, and you go and spend 80 bucks on a t-shirt, you've just spent 4 hours of your time, like 4 hours of your time just for a t-shirt. Like, just think about that. Think about from that perspective, and you think, damn, do I really want to spend 4 hours of my time busting my ass off at some job? You might love, you might hate, but 4 hours of your time just for a t-shirt that I'm gonna wear. You know, you gotta put it into perspective. So, yeah guys, so still working on the Sylvia, still working on the Mark II, still working on all these projects. So make sure if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. Going back to the talking videos with the gang. So, yeah, I hope it brings some value to you. It's really hard to make content nowadays, given the fact that you can't go anywhere or do anything. It's kind of the same thing day in, day out. So I'm trying to spice things up a little bit by doing something a little bit different. Like, I'm always thinking like in the shower, bro. Like, not that I'm thinking you guys in the shower. No, that's weird, bro. No, like you know, you know, you get into like, you get lost in thought in the shower. You're thinking like, okay, what can I do for my YouTube channel? And I'm thinking, okay, how can I add value? How can I add value? And I'm no financial guru expert, man. Like, I did a degree in finance and shit, but like, doesn't make me a guru in by any means. Like, there's so many YouTube videos out there talking about finance, talking about how to save money, this, that. I'm just telling you what I'm saying. I can probably look back at this 10, 20, 30 years from now and be like, ha, look at this dude talking fun on his computer and shit. But yeah, guys, I'm just trying to make some content for the gang, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, leave a comment down below. I'm keen to know what you guys think. And what would you choose? Would you choose the GDR or would you choose the house? And mind you, this is just a 5-year time frame, so keen to know. Alright guys, take care. I'll catch you guys next time.